Hello and welcome to Chengdu, China, for the third leg of the 2013 World Cup Modern Pentathlon Series. Halfway through this year's series, after the first event in Palm Springs, Los Angeles, and the second in Rio de Janeiro. As always, we'll start with the fencing. This being the women's event. Surprisingly, Lara Asovskaitia is again doing very well. The Olympic world champion. So this Nora, a number of emerging Russians. Russia, a long, decent history in the sport of modern pentathlon. Producing a decent performance, 21 victories for her, 14 losses, finished 9th overall. Certainly she'll be pleased with her performance. Zhao Nanjiang, well, if you remember back in Palm Springs a couple of months ago, she set a world record with 30 victories, 35 bouts. This is her first season competing on the senior stage. She used to be a former boxer. And doing well in the fencing. 5th overall with 22 victories and 13 losses, so quite able to produce the form that she showed Los Angeles, but nevertheless a good performance. Maria Maroc, first ever time she's competed in the World Cup. Number of emerging German modern pentathletes. She can be pleased with her performance. Her declaration form. There's Anna Buriak, their team leader, Victoria Pedishuk, who won the gold in Palm Springs in the first event. The World Cup this year, she's not competing, so Anna Buriak carry the Ukrainian flag. 9th overall after the fencing, 21 victories and 14 losses for her. Decent performance. Victory, just remember the fencing, 35 bouts overall. We have 1 minute to try and claim a victory. The FA format. Fellow Ukrainian, Irina Akhlova, second at the European Championships 2012, just ahead of her fellow compatriot, and Buriak. And Maklova, just like Buriak, exactly the same result in fencing, 21 victories and 14 losses, but 9th overall. Really in the fencing, a lot of bouts, not a lot of time to make that winning score, because if they don't manage to make a hit, where he gets 0 points. Oh, this lady needs no introduction, Lori Asovskaitia, the Olympic gold medalist in London, vastly experienced. Up modern pentathlon through swimming. This is the first World Cup event in Palm Springs that showed everyone that she's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. She finished 2nd in Brazil behind Margot Sakerson, the American, 21-year-old who's not competing here in Chengdu. In fact, Asbelskaite will have fond memories of Chengdu. She won the World Cup final here last year. Asbelskaite make a double after that victory in Chengdu, and has every chance after recording 24 victories from her 35 bouts. Gives her joint first place. Janine Kohlmann from Germany. Watch out for Asbelskaite in the combined, which is by far her best event. Not as strong, nonetheless a force to be reckoned with. Nonetheless, so those are the results after fencing. Kohlmann and Asbelskaite on top. Label and Ludmila Kukushkina third. Confirmation of the overall standings. So after fencing, we move to the swimming pool. The second event. World Cup event in Chengdu. And there is Janine Kohlmann. She's first overall after the fencing. Level with Laura Asbelskaite. 4 victories and 11 losses. Kohlmann, renowned fencer, not so good at the swimming though. Kohlmann eventually finished 20th overall. She was going to be riding in 5th place. We saw the local favourite competing, Zhao Nanzhang. He has been a sensation. Pentathlon tour this season. Also, Emily Dubé of France. She had a decent fencing result. Third overall. But in the swimming. Fencing playing 23 victories from 12, so 12 defeats. She was first after the swimming with an impressive time of 2 minutes and 10 seconds. She's good enough to give her first place overall after the fencing and the swimming.
My fencing is very good for me, and swimming, I'm very tired after fencing, and my time is good, but it's on my best time. Now just concentrate for the riding and the combine. A good feeling, but tired is very difficult, but I'm very motivated and concentrate. Okay.
So just confirmation of the results after the first 2 legs. Fencing and the swimming. Elodie Lebel of France. First place overall. Zhao Nanzhang. Disappointing swim for her. She still stands at 13th place. Asbelskaite is still very much in contention. She's 4th overall. As we move on to the riding. This is the event where everything can change due to the unpredictability. Riders only get a few practice jumps with their horses. It's really Experience does play a key role when it comes to the riding events. It's often the discipline that a lot of modern pentathletes pick up later on. The majority come into the sports being good swimmers. Well, the riders also only get a few minutes to get accustomed to their horses as well. Each horse is drawn by lots. Wonderful centre here in Chengdu, purposely built. Most modern pentathlon really growing in popularity in China. A whole host of local athletes competing in this event. 9 Chinese athletes overall. All looking to try and follow in Zhao Nanzhang's footsteps. The second place finish in Palm Springs. Well into the riding competition. Blustery day in Chengdu. It's a good start so far. Approach. Plenty of height on the jump. It's a good ride so far. Good approaching towards the fences. Plenty of distance. Section 3 in a row. It's a very good round. Certainly one that she'll be pleased with. The athlete from Kazakhstan, Arina Jimbalanova. Saw Yao Wang going clear. Well, plenty of riders to go. Good start so far from the Kazakhstan athlete. That's her first knockdown. 40 points immediately off her score. Good recovery though. Looks confident. Plenty of height and a good clearance there. Bit of a stutter going into the fence, but recovering well. Clipped the fence, but stayed on. It's for one knockdown so far. Make that 2. Commentator's curse. So just for 2 knockdowns for Gila Bandanova from Kazakhstan. Very blustery conditions in Chengdu, which is located in the Sichuan province. Jeong from Korea. The next to go. Young athlete. She's 33rd at the World Championships in Rome last year. Second season really competing on the main tour. It's been a good start so far. Riding much harder for the youngsters, really. Just don't have the experience that all the competitors have. Jeong towards her first knockdown. Stuttering approach towards the fence. Clearance. The Korean athlete. Just this free fence section to go. Should be disappointed with that final knockdown. So 2 knockdowns for Mina Jeong. So the first World Cup event of the season, didn't compete in Palm Springs or in Rio de Janeiro. She's 4th at the World Junior Championships in Poland in the relay. Wang. A number of Chinese athletes competing. Good height there. The clearance. Still plenty of athletes to go. Elodie Clevel, the overall leader, after the first 2 events, the fencing and the swimming. Good ride so far for Wang. 15th overall in the first World Cup event in Palm Springs. It's been a very impressive ride. First half of the fencing. And she's gone clear. So that's a really good ride by the Chinese athletes. Didn't have the best of fencing or swimming events, 21st and 22nd respectively, but that's a fantastic ride. And certainly boost her going into the combined event. Belarusian athlete up next, Hanna Slionak. Let's get her ride underway. It's her first World Cup event of the season. She did compete in the Hungarian Indoor Championships. February. Finished 9th overall. Just took part in the London Olympics. It came a disappointing 32nd. Event, of course, which was won by Laura Astolskaitie. Siljonak. Experienced campaigner. It's her first knockdown. Recovers well. She was 15th after the fencing. But a disappointing swim. She was 31st. It's a second knockdown, which will certainly hamper her chances. Third. Disappointing ride, really, for the Belarusian. 3 knockdowns. At the moment, she's almost 2 minutes, or should start almost 2 minutes of the leader, going into the combined. Another Chinese athlete up next. He Hao. Sport really has taken off in China over the last few years. This is the case with many Olympic sports. Chinese desire to win as many medals as possible. Of course, very lucky due to the massive amount of money that is invested into building facilities like this, new generations of athletes to develop. First knockdown, the second for Hao. The start that she would have wanted. A youngster. On the circuit for a few years. Did the World Cup events in Chengdu, China, in 2011, where she was 19th overall. She'll do well to finish 19th this time out. Had a number of knockdowns. Staying on there. Eventually completes the course. Quite a miracle, really, for Hao to be in the reckoning. Going into the combined. She didn't get off to a great start. Confident. Being those two fences so early on. Certainly wouldn't have helped matters. Nan Chen next to go. Any victories for her in the fencing. 2:30 in the swimming. First ever World Cup event on the senior circuit. Just some juniors for today. Good starts. This has proved tricky for the athletes. Up to the halfway point in her ride. It's like stutter. She came into the fence, but recovery. Going well so far. Gone for a clear round here. Bridges the free fence section in a row. 1, 2, 3, and she's clear. Excellent ride by Anon Chen. She'll certainly be pleased with that. A lot of nerves. Being her first ever World Cup event. She handled the pressure very well indeed. Here's the German, Padia Maroch. She's up next. Very good fencing. 5th overall. 22 victories. Disappointing swim. 34 out of 36. Time of 2 minutes and 34. It's the first World Cup event of the season. Didn't compete in Palm Springs or Rio de Janeiro. First knockdown. Clip the fence there. Stayed on. I didn't. 2 knockdowns already. Maru. Swiss Women's International Competition in Bern earlier this year, in March, where she was 14th overall. Defense. That second one goes down. So 3 knockdowns overall for Maroc. Good time, but the academic in the end. So those 3 knockdowns will really have hurt her chances. She's way down the standings.
Ukraine, number 18.
So Anastasia Spas from Ukraine up next. Have much experience. Second of the World Juniors in Poland last year. Been in the European Championships as well in Sofia, where she came in 16th overall. It's a refusal. Here in Chengdu last year, World Cup final, 19th. Refusal and knockdown would have helped her chances. Still very young, still plenty of time to improve her riding skills. Good swim, where she was 9th overall, 5th in the fencing. So before riding, very difficult for all the youngsters. Another refusal.
Number 21, the last jump. 4 refusals. Elimination.
Not really going to plan. Anastasia Spas has the 3rd refusal. 3 refusals and you're out.
Number 16.
So we're about halfway through the riding competition. It's Wanjie Liang up next. Chinese athletes. 13th in the fencing, 25th. Swimming. Chinese athletes have done well in the riding so far. 2 have gone clear. He did at the World Cup event in Chengdu in 2011. 26th. Control the horse. That's a good height on the first fence and on the second. Good confident ride so far. Liang. He's down on that rail, first knockdown. Or Liang. Very blustery conditions. Riders. Sand being blown around. It's good clearance. It's got 1 knockdown so far. Into the last section. 3 in a row. Just clips that first one and it comes down. And Liang with 2 knockdowns overall. Well, halfway through the riding event, and it's Natalia Coyle who's the next to compete from Ireland. Finished 2nd in the team events back in Palm Springs. Compatriot in Bailey. She's a good rider, Natalia Coyle. Confident start so far. Part-time student. Just 2 knockdowns already. After the fencing, 21st after the swimming. Those 2 early knockdowns will certainly have hampered her chances, and that's a 3rd. Certainly not going to plan. Natalia, who's competed at the Olympics in London, where she put in a good performance, finishing 9th. 10th at the World Cup event last year in Rostov in Russia. Knockdown. So 2nd World Cup event. The individual event in Palm Springs as well, where she was 25th. It's a disappointing ride really for Natalia Coyle. It's probably going to be the end of her chances of getting a top 10 finish. Next to go is Kathy Burke. 16 victories for her in the fencing. 215 in the swimming. Didn't compete in the London Olympics. This is her 3rd World Cup event of the season. 21st in Palm Springs. 28th finish in Rio. Knockdown already for the Brits. 14th last year at the European Championships in Bulgaria. confident approach. Give height over the fence. Just this final section to go. Clips the second of the 3 hurdles. So 3 knockdowns for Kathy Burke. Really needed to go clear if she wanted to have any chances of making an impact. It's Svetlana Lebedeva from Russia. A number of emerging Russians. Pentathlon, very popular in Russia. They've produced a number of very good athletes. So Russia and Hungary, the world leaders. So how will Lebedeva fare? Donata Rimshaitya competing for the Russians at this event. Going well so far, but this has been the section which has troubled most of the riders, and Lebedeva knocking down the rail on the second fence. She was first last year at the European Juniors in Hungary. And 5th of the World Juniors in Poland. It's another knockdown for Lebedeva. Oh. To lose her bearings as she came into that fence. Bit of disappointment for Lebedeva. So back onto her horse. It's really going to cost her. Is okay. But will be bitterly disappointed after that fall. Ended her hopes of a decent finish really at this event. Back on the horse. Will of course incur some time penalties. Another knockdown, really struggling to get control of the horse. So difficult for the young athletes. Just don't have the experience how to control the horse. So it really is just luck of the draw, which horse you get drawn with. By Lebedeva during that final section. Unfortunately for Svetlana, she's well out of a reckoning. That fall and a series of knockdowns. Time penalties as well for Lebedeva. 164 points for her. She's losing control of the horse. So next up, another Chinese athlete, Zhao Nanzhang, former boxer, second in Palm Springs. This is a great start for the Chinese youngster. an excellent ride in Palm Springs. After a few hairy moments, she'll start to get ready for this ride. I was going to say she had a decent start, but 2 knockdowns in a row. Set a world record in Palm Springs in the fencing. 30 victories out of 35. Sensational start to her senior career. And we're going a bit tougher in Rio because a number of more experienced fencers had worked her out. Tactics really had the surprise factor that she had in Palm Springs. So 3rd knockdown for Zhang and a 4th. Probably had a breaking as well. Didn't get enough height. So low on the approach. Knockdowns for her overall. Tavia Nowacka from Poland. Next to go, she competed in Rio de Janeiro. It's 12th overall. So 2nd World Cup event of 2013. Competed in the home European Championships last season in Poland. It's 21st. Doing well so far though. Cleared that difficult section fairly comfortably. It's a good right from Nowacka. First knockdown. Just keeping the fence with his hind legs. Been a good ride so far overall. Starting out on her modern pentathlon career. Very good time. 1 knockdown. She'll certainly be pleased with that result. She'll try and improve on her 12th place finish last time out in Rio. Christina Cześć. Next to go from Hungary. There's so many decent, excellent, I'd say, modern pentathletes over the years. Will Christina fare in this ride? It's 20th in Rio de Janeiro, last World Cup event. She's 3rd in the Hungarian Indoor Championships in Budapest in February. In fact, she actually won the Hungarian Championships in June of last year in the team event. 13th in Rome for the World Championships. It's been a good ride so far by the Hungarian. Rail not staying on. Disappointing for Christina. Good approach, plenty of speed and plenty of height on the clearance. That's a good ride by Christina Cześć. Just for 1 knockdown. She'll certainly be pleased with that performance. Priscilla Oliveira, the next to go from Brazil. Compatriot Jana Marquez not competing here in Chengdu. Jana Marquez, who won a bronze medal at the London Olympics. Oliveira was 11th in Rio last time out. The individual event. Just competed in Palm Springs. She's 28th. Decent improvement for her as the season's gone on. One knockdown already for Oliveira. Stutter as she came to that fence, and the second knockdown for Oliveira. '12th place for those two knockdowns. It's fence, but it stays on, luckily for her. Towards the end of her ride. So 3 knockdowns overall for Oliveira. Confident going into that approach. But recovered well. Those 3 knockdowns are going to prove costly. To the final few riders, and it's Anna Buryak from Ukraine. The next to go. So she'll be pleased with her fencing results. She was equal 9th with 21 victories and 14 losses. 16th after the swimming. If she can get a good ride, she'll certainly be in contention for a podium spot. No Victoria Tereshchuk competing for the Ukrainians in this World Cup leg. Just losing control of a horse, just having a real struggle to stay on. Refusal there for Buryak. Did well to recover. Obviously she's going to lose a lot of time. The riders. Just 2 refusals after the third. Disqualified and go and get any points for the riding events. Down already. Coach giving her instructions. Third knockdown, just not getting enough height. The approach. Buryak actually competing her ride. A refusal and the 2 knockdowns, but overall she can be happy. Did very well early on to stay on the horse. Lose control, but well in the end. Krudinova from Russia. The next to go.
From Russia. Rolling course number 13.
Fairly new to the senior circuits. She was second at the World Juniors in Buenos Aires in 2011. Competed at the World Championships in Rome last year, where she was 22nd overall. So first event at the World Cup this year. Didn't compete in either Palm Springs or Rio. Difficult section really for the riders. Just clips the rail, but it stays on. Dinova stumble there as she approached the fence. First refusal for her. Covers well. Good height on that clearance. First knockdown to go with that refusal. 80 points off her score. Last three-section fence to go. There's the first and the second and the third. So Dinova, one knockdown and the refusal. 1,120 points. Just didn't get the approach right there. Really on in her ride. She was 9th after the fencing, 15th after the swimming. So just 7 athletes to go. And the 7th is Irina Hakhlova from Ukraine. Just like her compatriot Anna Buryak. Same results in the fencing. 9th overall with 21 victories and 14 defeats. 2 places better in the swimming than a fellow Ukrainian. Shooting time of 2 minutes and 18 for 14th place overall. Good confident start from Hakhlova. Clears that difficult section. First knockdown for the Ukrainian. Donetsk, eastern part of the country. 10th at the London Olympics, 2nd at the European Championships, both in 2012. Introduced to the sport by her parents. So a disappointing finish though for Hakhlova. Third knockdown. 20 points knocked off her score. Could have been so much better for her. Just kept that last rail on. So, just 6 more athletes to go. Olga Kamanichkova. Fairly new on the scene. This is her first ever World Cup appearance, so there'll be a few nerves for Manchikova. Just 15th after the fencing. Excellent swim. 2 minutes and 13. Just good enough to give her third place. Still really infancy of her career. Good confident start. Good height on that clearance. Bit of a stumble, but good recovery. Excellent ride so far by the Russian. Needs to maintain her concentration. Just clips the fence, but luckily for her, it stays on. Didn't get enough height in the approach. Clipping the fence, but staying on. And a perfect round for Olga Karmanchikova. That's certainly going to put her in contention for a podium spot going into the combined. Got a bit of luck there towards the end. But an excellent performance by the Russian. Janine Coleman. Finished equal first after the fencing with 24 victories from her 35 bounce. Gave her 976 points. Swim perhaps didn't go according to plan. She was 20th overall. Gets her ride underway. Competed in Palm Springs. She was 18th. It's the first knockdown. A lot of riders have found that section of the course tricky. Just heard of the German Championships last year. Second knockdown already for Coleman. Stutter into the approach, but recovered well. Third knockdown, which sees a slide down the rankings. Freak knockdowns for Janine Coleman. Next up will be the reigning Olympic champion, Laura Ostaskaitė from Lithuania. Compete in Palm Springs, but took part in Rio de Janeiro. Finished second overall. And Margot Zackerson from the United States of America, who claimed first place. Skaiti, vastly experienced. Modern pentathlon legend Andreas Sis. Fond memories also of Chengdu. She won the World Cup final here. May of last year. Vastly experienced. We're looking for a good ride here, especially with the combined being far our best event. first knockdown. And the second. Just won't leave herself with too much to do going into the combined. As well. Final section coming up for Asadalskaitia. There's the first and the second. No, knocked down. A third of a ride. So 3 knockdowns for the Lithuanian. Just clipping that final rail. But she'll still fancy her chances. Going into the final event. So, just 3 athletes to go. Yu Hu from China. 5th after fencing with 22 victories from 35 bouts. And a good swim as well. 7th overall, 2:15 for her. Too much known really about Yu Hu. It's her first ever appearance on the World Cup stage. Never competed before. Chinese athletes have done well in the riding so far. They have gone clear. But to go clear, an excellent chance to combine. Here's that different section. Height on that clearance. A bit close to the fence, but a good recovery. Oh, falls off the horse. Oh, massive disappointment for Hu. Had been going so well. Some concentration perhaps at the last minute. Stumbling to approach that fence. She'll be so bitterly disappointed. Had been going so well. Set for another clear round. That have affected her. It's good height on the clearance. To the final section already, dropping down to 4th place. And Kamanchikova. 2 knockdowns right at the end. Helped her either. Time penalties as well for her. So what went wrong there? Left herself with too much to do. Couldn't recover quick enough. So here's the penultimate rider. Ludmila Kukushkina from Russia. So first World Cup event of the season. Didn't compete in Palm Springs or in Rio. for a while though. The World Cup event back in 2010 in Berlin. She was 10th. Part in World Cup event last year in Rostov, and first knockdown for Kukushkina. Didn't manage to get through qualifying on that occasion. Knockdown for her so far. Suspense, and then the final section to go for Kukushkina. Second knockdown. So 2 knockdowns for Ludmila Kukushkina. Just Elodie Louvel to go. And here is the French woman. Go clear. She's going to have a big lead going into the combined. She'll need with the likes of Katie lurking. Still very much in contention. Excellent swimmer. Louvel. Up one pentathlon after missing out on selection for the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. French team. Knockdown. Really very confident going into that approach. Just didn't get that approach at all right, and another knockdown for the French woman. Lead from Kukushkina. This last section. Radcliffe and Michael Phelps are heroes, but that's another knockdown, and she's lost the lead. She crosses the finishing line. 3 knockdowns for Elodie Louvel. Mila Kukushkina starts in first place. Combined. Confirmation of the results. It's been a good event so far for the Russians. 3 in the top 4. Laura Osadowskaite will certainly be fancying her chances. Just 32 seconds behind the leader going into the combined, but everyone knows Osadowskaite here. So good at the combined. She'll be very confident of making up that deficit. and welcome to Chengdu, the third World Cup event of the 2013 modern pentathlon season. As always, we'll start with the fencing. It's the women's individual event. And there'll be a new winner in the women's events with Victoria Tereshuk, who won in Palm Springs, and Margot Sackerson, both not competing. Someone who will be certainly gunning for goal will be Laura Stoskaitia, Lithuanian, the reigning Olympic champion. Let's see. Rutinova from Russia. A lot of Russians competing. With a new generation. Russians very strong in the modern pentathlon. Have probably got more recognition over the last few years or so. Rutinova losing that bout. Chinese athletes on show as well. Sport growing in popularity in the country. This is Zhao Nanjiang. She was a sensation back in Palm Springs where she set a world record winning 30 out of 35 bouts. She'd go on to claim second place overall. I think they're going a bit tougher this time out. Fifth overall. 2 victories from 13. The German athlete. Manroch. A very good performance. Fifth. Equal fifth with 22 victories and 13 losses. One of her 22 victories. Athletes have just a minute to try and score a vital hit, claim a victory. Said no Victoria Tereshuk, so a lot of Ukrainian hopes for this woman. Buriak from Ukraine. Finished 9th overall with 21 victories and 14 losses. She's third at the European Championships in 2012. Competed in Rio de Janeiro last time out, where she was 19th. Decent fencing competition from her. Start to the competition. Ukrainian athletes on view. Maklova. Donetsk in the eastern part of the country. Exactly the same record of 9 victories, 21 victories, 14 defeats. And this lady needs no introduction whatsoever. Laura Stoskaitia, reigning Olympic champion. Won the World Cup event, World Cup final event here in Chengdu last year. Vastly experienced. Decent fencer. First place overall with 24 victories and 11 defeats, giving her 976 points. Vastly experienced. opportunity. Dalskaitia, famous Lithuanian modern pentathlete, Andrei Sandeprovskis, who has a daughter as well. Certainly the person to beat in this event. So, after fencing, it's off to the swimming pool. First heat. Janine Coleman, who finished first, equal first overall after fencing with Laura Asudulskaitia, German. 24 victories and 11 losses. Certainly giving her a good platform going into the swimming event. Coleman would produce a decent swim. 2 minutes and 22 seconds for her, giving her 20th place overall. So Dalskaitia just going one better, finishing 19th overall. It's to be Elodie Clovel, who would lead after the first two events. There she is, the French woman. She was third after the fencing with 23 victories and 12 defeats. She produced an excellent swim though. Not really surprising given the fact that she just missed out on selection for the 2008 Beijing Olympics with the French swim team. After that she decided to switch her attention to modern pentathlon. Case with a lot of newcomers to the sport, they come through swimming and as they become more experienced, gradually learn the other trades, just fencing and the riding. But an excellent swim of 2 minutes and 10 seconds for Clouvel, giving a first place, maximum 1,240 points.
Very good for me, and swimming, I'm very tired after fencing, and my time is good, but it's on my best time. Now just concentrate for the riding and the combine. I good feeling, but tired. It's very difficult, but I'm very motivated and concentrate. Yeah.
So after two events, Elodie Clovel, who had the lead from Ludmila Kukushkina of Russia, Hu from China, third place, but Laura Asudulskaitia still lurking fourth. Janine Coleman from Germany, who led with Asudulskaitia after fencing, completing the top five. So after the first two events, it was off to the riding. See the athletes warming up for the combined. So, welcome back to Chengdu, where we await the combined event. And Russia's Lyudmila Kukushkina in pole position. After the first 3 events, she'll start with a 4-second lead from Elodie Clouvel. Clouvel was hampered in the riding by recording 3 knockdowns. It's been a very good day so far for the Russians, with Kukushkina in first, Karamanchikova in third, Olga Karamanchikova and Alisey Fakhrudinov in fourth. But watch out also for Laura Asutskaitia, the reigning Olympic champion, so good at the combined. She'll be starting 32 seconds behind Kukushkina, though that's a deficit she is more than capable of making up. So Kukushkina almost ready to get us underway. Kukushkina, 24 years of age. One of a new breed, really, of Russian modern pentathletes. 10th at the World Cup event in Germany in June 2010. Didn't even qualify really for the World Cup in Rostov, as Kukushkina gets us underway. It's her first World Cup event since 2010. She goes to the shooting range. Greatest starts for Kukushkina. And if the shooters can get away from the range in around 10 seconds, that's seen as a very good result. And here comes Asutskaitia. She's so good at the combined. Such a good athlete. Clouvel having a lot of trouble on the shooting range. Eventually getting away in 35 seconds. A brilliant shoot from one of the other Russians, Fakhrudinova, here in 12. Asutskaitia also having a few problems. There's Olga Karamanchikova. It's taking a minute on the first shooting range. Asutskaitia still there. In fact, Kukushkina's 18-second shoots really not to be that bad at all. Kukushkina opening up her lead over Elodie Clouvel to 19 seconds already. Asutskaitia has dropped well out of the reckoning. There's Kukushkina. Third after fencing. 23 wins. Very good swim as well. Second in a time of 2 minutes and 12. A decent ride as well. Just 2 penalties for her. 80 points off her score. Big lead so far. Elodie Clouvel in pursuit. See there, Asutskaitia, green, the baseball cap. Working her way up the field. A really disastrous opening shoot for the Lithuanian, and she's got to make up 40 seconds or so on Kukushkina. Kukushkina still going strong, taking that 19-second lead over Clouvel. shooting range soon for the second time. Very blustery conditions for the athletes. Certainly not making life easy for them. Kukushkina enters the range. Slowing down. A few deep breaths to try and steady herself. Good start for the Russian. Only one target hit so far. Kuvel will just about be entering the range now. That's an excellent shoot from Kukushkina. On how Doskaiti gets on. Fakrudinova, she got away from the shooting range in just 12 seconds in her first shoot, finding life a bit more difficult this time. Excellent shoot from Clavel as well. She'll have closed the gap. Doskaiti goes clear in just 12 seconds, so this race certainly not over yet. Clavel closing the gap on Kukushkina at less than 10 seconds. There is the leader, Ludmila Kukushkina. And Buryak currently in third place. Come under a lot of pressure though from Fakrudinova. Going to be very good at the shooting. Of course, don't rule out Doskaiti, the reigning Olympic champion. So good at the combine. Had an excellent shoot as well. Put her right back in contention. Doskaiti really making ground on the field. Went into fourth place. Closes on the Ukrainian athletes. And Buryak already made up 10 seconds on this leg. Shows how much can change in the combined. Go back to Palm Springs. Remember how Chinese athletes Zhao Nanzhang had a big lead. Ukraine's Victoria Tereshchuk really tore up the field. With incredible speed on the flat, quick shooting as well. And in the end, she would make up something like a 30-second gap to claim victory. That's exactly what Doskaiti is looking to do. She's already moved up into third place past Buryak as Kukushkina enters the shooting range. As quickly as possible. She's joined by Clavel and Doskaiti and Buryak. 3 away so far. Doskaiti having a few problems on the range. And good shoot from Kukushkina. Not the quickest in 25 seconds. Buryak gets away. Doskaiti having a lot of problems again. If it hadn't been for the shooting, Doskaiti would probably be in the lead by now by some distance. Away eventually in 30 seconds. Has a 5-second lead from Ukrainian rival, and Buryak. get away. It's going well so far for Kukushkina. Tries to open up a lead on Anna Buriak. The greatest ever combined, Buriak.
30 seconds.
A lot of work again for Asatoskaiti to do. He has been hampered by the shooting. Lovell in third. Liang has moved up into fourth. Fakrudinova, after a very good opening shoot, struggled a bit on the range, and here comes Asatoskaiti again. She's closing in on Lovell in third. She left herself with too much to do, though. And in fact, Asatoskaiti's gone past Lovell, so the podium spots at the moment, and just 11 seconds behind Kukushkina. This race certainly isn't over yet. In fact, Buriak is actually closing on Kukushkina. Kukushkina really tiring, it would seem. And Buriak moves into the lead. So first time Kukushkina has been passed. Kukushkina really does look to be tiring as Buriak hits the front. I think it'll be very long at all until Asatoskaiti catches the Russian, who's tiring badly. Asatoskaiti still looking very strong. Lovell struggling a little bit. Liang completing the top 5. So into the shooting range for the final time with Buriak in the lead, followed by Kukushkina. Who can get away quickest? Well, it's a really good shoot so far from Buriak. And she's gone clear in 11 seconds. Has she given herself another platform to get away from Asatoskaiti? Liang has gone clear. She's going to go into second. Kukushkina and Asatoskaiti having real problems on the range. Asatoskaiti needs just one more. And Asatoskaiti beats the shooting range eventually. And Buriak could be on course for victory. She has a 20-second lead over Liang. And Liang. Ukraine won the first World Cup women's individual event in Palm Springs through Victoria Tereshchuk. And it looks as though they could well be on for a second victory in 3 World Cup events, with Anna Buriak opening up a big lead from Wanyazha Liang. Liang in second, and another Chinese girl, Wang, in third. It doesn't look... In fact, doesn't really look that Buriak will be caught. Lead's getting bigger. It'll be 23 seconds from Liang. She competed in Rio de Janeiro last time out. Anna Buriak, where she finished 19th overall. This is by far, or this will be if she manages to hold on for victory, by far the biggest result of her career. She was 24th at the World Championships in Rome as she comes home for victory. A thoroughly deserved victory for Anna Buriak of Ukraine. She claims victory in what was, in the end, a comfortable win for the Ukrainian athletes. Well, delight for the home crowd as well, as Liang comes home in second, closely followed by Wang, who completes the podium lineup. And another Ukrainian, Irina Hakhlova, in fourth. Kushkina, well, she led the race for a long period, but was hampered really by shooting. She would finish in 5th place. Buriak has a few words with her coach. Well, Asotulskaite there, she'll be bitterly disappointed with her shooting. Well, Asotulskaite, the reigning Olympic champion, on a number of occasions that she might threaten for the lead. Really was let down badly by her shooting. Wasn't able to improve on her second place in Rio de Janeiro last time out.
Just tell about your feelings, because you start from 11th position, but
we'll have a few words with
very hard run. I'm very happy, and I thank you, my coach, all coach.
what's the moment was crucial during the distance?
Last shooting very well, 5 green, because I first.
So, a delighted Anna Buriak. Commenting how that final shoot was crucial. She was incredibly crucial because Asotulskaite had a lot of problems on that final shoot. So dangerous on the flat. Buriak managed to get away very quickly. Was able to open up a big lead and never looked like being caught. As Anna Buriak claims by far the biggest victory of her career. She's 3rd at the European Championships in Sofia. You can come close to recording a victory like this. It's the 3rd World Cup event after Palm Springs and Rio de Janeiro. It's confirmation of the podium lineup. Anna Buriak claiming gold. Wang Liang in 2nd place, and Wei Wang getting the bronze. It's been a good individual World Cup season so far for China. Go back to Palm Springs. They claimed a silver medal. Zhao Zhang. Really good facilities here in Chengdu, this complex, especially to hold modern pentathlon events. There is Zhao Zhang, Chinese athletes. It's her debut season. Lana Lebedeva and Laura Asotulskaite exchanging a few words. Lebedeva really was let down by her ride. After having a decent fencing and swimming results.
3 judges called out for it. I didn't actually see it. Okay, 3 judges called out.
Okay, next time we...
Okay, but you understand.
Skaity's saying a few words with the officials. Just waiting for the medal ceremonies to take place.
From Ukraine, Liang Wenxia, 中国 Wang Wei, 中国 Kokilova Irina, Ukraine. Kushikina, Russia. Bruno Elodie, France. Please go to the water ceremony.
So Felice being told just to go to the medal ceremony area to pick up their awards. So just confirmation of the results. Anna Buriak in first place. She started the combined 45 seconds off the lead. It was really helped by the quality of her shooting. Decent results for the Russian duo of Kukushkina and Pakhodinova. Excellent early shoot, which put her in contention, but just couldn't follow that up. Positive for the Russian youngster. It's good results for the British duo of Katie Burke and Rebecca Wayne. Burke producing by far the best World Cup results of 2013. Also, Chinese again proving how much of an emerging force they are in modern pentathlon, with 2 spots on the podium.
The number 1 athlete, Kukushkina from Russia, Chloe from France. Preparation area.
So, just to confirm, victory going to the